Spinning. There we go. Welcome, everybody. Winter seasonal selection, the fourth pick of the year. U.S. cask exclusive. If you don't know, I'm Scott.
And I'm Jenna.
With the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society. Hopefully, everybody I think, 99% of people that are watching will know that. A few people may not.
Yeah.
But so this year was the first year we had the SMWS U.S. Membership, or the U.S. team has picked 4 different casks, one for each season: spring, summer, fall, and winter. This is the 4th of the year. And like I say, these are U.S. exclusives. Only the U.S. is getting these casks, these bottles, the winter seasonal selection. And before we get, I was going to just start getting into it, but we ought to go through. Usually we do a little bit of a roll call.
Let's do
Talk
it.
about things that are going on first.
I gave myself a.
Did you pour yours?
I did. I just did. I tasted it, just opened it into the glass.
Mine's been open for about 20 minutes, or been poured for about 20, 25 minutes now. So decided to let it get a little bit of air. Let's go through real quick, see who all's tuning in. We had a lot of people ready. A lot of comments coming in way before we even went live, from Ryan Mercer, Mamuka 1977, Large Woolly Bugger. Great name, by the way. He's been tuning in. He or she's been tuning in the last few live streams.
I love that.
Yeah. Northwoods Whiskey Nerds are here. Erwin Laranaga. Adam Clary. Scrolling. Joe Combs. Stewart of Butte. Scrolling. Scott Friedland here in Wichita with me.
Wichita.
Duke McHale. Pickley Doo.
No stream.
Big Dog.
Oh, Pickley Doo.
That's right. Absolutely. Taylor Atchley is here. Warren Buff. Scuba Summer, a.k.a. Sage Summer.
I know. Summer, I saw your name and I was like, did she change her name? I was like, I don't know, Scuba Summer.
Well, she said I think it was one of the blind bourbon tastings, which remind me, we'll talk about that. That's coming up, the championship this Friday. And I'd asked, I said, Scuba Summer. It used to be Sage Summer. She's got another YouTube name that she uses, Scuba Summer. She goes scuba diving uncaged with sharks.
What?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. That's brave.
I will stay on the boat
with the whiskey. You can get in the water. I'm good.
Exactly. Sanctus Vitae is here. C. Brown. Ben Austin. Multi-Caskin. I think that's it. Stephen Rogers. Lady K. That ought to wrap it up for everybody up to this point. If you come in after this, I didn't say your name, I apologize. So this will be available tomorrow. Are we ready for the reveal?
Tomorrow, this whiskey gets released. It's been a long day.
Yes, before somebody asks, yes, this is a lottery bottle, just like all the seasonal selections. And we've had great interest, great supply versus demand issues with these. They've all gone via lottery. And so I was talking to someone on the phone the other day, though, and they had actually gotten all 3 of the others. And so they were hoping to be able to get the lucky draw on this bottle as well.
I'm trying to remember. I know I did one for I did the last one, the fall seasonal selection. I think I did spring seasonal selection, but I don't think I did the summer one. So I think I only have 2.
I don't remember. I've done them all. I don't remember who I did them with.
I did one, the fall one I did with Kat Augustin. We did the fall.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that was the fall one. And then maybe you and I did the spring one. I don't know. I don't remember. It's
so long ago.
It does feel like that.
So many whiskeys.
Oh, Warren, yes, maybe the summer one was the Oiling Coastal. So I did summer and fall, I think. Thank you. I can't keep up.
So anyway, cask 95.53 boozy basket. This is a 15-year-old Speyside, Dirtiff, deep rich in dried fruits, 57% ABV, double maturation here, 13 years in an ex-bourbon hogshead and 2 years in a first fill ex-Pedro Jimenez American oak hogshead. This will be $155. Again, email will come out at 1 p.m. tomorrow. It's when most of them come out on the lotteries. Register with your email address, your official SMWS account email address to be registered. So this one I've poured. I haven't tasted this one yet
either.
But it is.
When I went to open this earlier today, just so some air could get into it, and when I popped the cork and I made a comment about summer having Guinness and Guinness stew. This literally, like, I popped the cork and I was even on the phone with Scott and I told Scott, I was like, this smells like somebody took like a rich chocolate syrup and like dumped it into a Guinness. It smelled like Guinness and chocolate. And I was like, this is going to be fun. So very excited to taste this.
Yeah, chocolate, definitely. That was the first thing I got on the nose when I opened it as well. And just sweet chocolate.
I mean,
fruits, sweet, ripe fruits, dark, red fruits.
It is so chocolatey. Like, I can't get past how it's like chocolate covered every dark red fruit you can think of, like chocolate covered cherry and raspberry and fig and date. And I mean, this is like bonkers chocolate. I don't think I've had a nosed, or I haven't tasted it yet, so I don't know if there's chocolate on the palate, but I don't think I've had a whiskey as of late that is this chocolatey just on the nose. It makes me want a big old cold glass of Ovaltine.
You said bonkers. I was going to say, that was the tasting panel number 3 release.
Yes.
Or number 2. I don't remember. See, now I'm.
See, it's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah, it's here somewhere.
Woo.
Oh, man.
Okay, I'm going to taste it.
All right, go ahead. Yeah. Cheers.
Hold on. Let us get a good.
No. There we go. Yeah, just nice, sweet, rich, fruity, chocolatey nose. And you can see Jenna's expression. I'll go in on the palate.
Whoa. I saw Eric Waite's comment of, would it be wrong to put it in eggnog? And Eric, the answer to that is no.
No.
I would put any whiskey. I love eggnog. I love eggnog with whiskey in it. And I think this would be fantastic with eggnog. As a matter of fact, I may try it after the stream because I got a fresh jug of eggnog in my fridge just waiting for a beautiful whiskey. So
add nuttiness.
Big time.
Cigar tobacco.
But I'm like, I get that on like the finish. Like, it's like, you know, like that after you smoke a cigar and that your tongue is like,
oh yeah.
There's like an element of that to this for sure. I almost got like, I don't know. It's like a candied, like chestnut, if that makes any sense. And it's like sticky sweet, like a coffee, and like it's a little molassesy. And I really just like that, like sootiness that you get on the finish of this. Like, that's really, really good.
I was thinking pistachios, almost like a candied pistachio, sweet, salty pistachio.
You say that so fancy. A pistachio.
Pistachio.
Can I get a jar of pistachios, please? That's so cute.
Yeah, still sweet, chocolatey, little, and a little bit of I'm going to throw in some salted meats as well, Italian-like meats, like a charcuterie board of Italian meats. You know, your pepperonis and salamis and prosciutto and what other kinds of salted pork products there are.
Yeah, it's like they make this jam that I use a lot in my charcuterie boards, and it's a bourbon berry. And this definitely has an element of that. I could see, like, if you could make this into a jam, it would be fantastic with like some prosciutto and some brie and then a big old dollop of boozy basket jam. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Ooh, man. And you know what? It feels
good.
It feels hotter than 57% too. It feels
a little bit.
It feels 60s to me. Nice. All those just sweet berries though, raspberries, blackberries, I think red fruits, maybe even a little bit of Luxardo cherry.
Yes, good call on that. That's a good call. Like a sooty Luxardo cherry. Yes.
Burnt orange zest. Man, a little bit of everything tonight, like a bit nuttiness, tobaccos, fruits, toasted. Wow. I'm going to get a drop of water on it.
It is literally a charcuterie board in a glass. I mean, there's a little bit of everything in this whiskey. It's like, if you want to, like, you know, I don't know, when I make them with whatever is like in my fridge. And I mean, sometimes I even put chicken wings on them because that girl. But I think that if you like something that is a little bit on the saltier side or that like savory kind of nuttier side, you're going to find that in this whiskey. But I also think that if you really love like the deep, rich, and dried aspect of these sherry cask matured whiskeys, you're going to find that in here too. And I think that is pretty awesome that you can really, whatever it is you're looking for, you know, in a whiskey, even if you want that little sooty, charry kind of note, like down the middle of your tongue, you're going to find that in here too. That's pretty freaking awesome.
I just glanced at the tasting notes on the bottle. Don't look at them yet, but
I turned it around. I can't see them.
I got a drop of water on. Actually, more of the sweetness, more of the berries, the fruits coming out with that one, with the first drop of water. But
I did that very, like, you know, professionally. Don't have a straw or a dropper on my desk, which is weird.
Berkshire whiskey. The snozberries taste like snozberries.
Ooh. Definitely more fruity with a little bit of water. Like zesty. I get more of that like orange peel, that like candied orange peel, like more citrus actually. I'm getting more citrus, more. Yeah, it's definitely more fruity. Like I feel like it tones down the chocolate, that like kind of syrupy note. All right, let me taste it.
I'm really thinking, you know, a lot of cocktails nowadays, they're using those really thin slices of like the dehydrated oranges that they've like soaked in different things. I don't know how many of those different ones you've had or that they've like even toasted, you know, and things like that. And that's, I mean, it's definitely in this as well. But
I think I like it without water better. It's just like I thought it toned down a lot of those really bold flavors, and it tones down like the ashy quality of it. I feel like
I still get a lot of toast on the mid palate and great finish on this one. Well, for 15 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised this is only 2 years in that first fill PX cask. It must have been a pretty wet cask because for 2 years there's a lot of influence here.
Big time.
Yeah. But, well, you know, I say that though too, there's still not a lot of those normal, you know, really darker, sweeter PX notes that you get sometimes. It's still fruitier, still sweeter. You know, a little bit of, like you said, I think you said molasses or that kind of that brown sugar, syrupy little bit in there. Not as much. as I think some heavier casks or more longer maturations that we've seen. So I think maybe still a good balance of the 13 years of the distillate character here, and then 2 years in that first fill.
I find whiskey from this particular distillery to be quite weighty anyway. And I personally find a lot of the PX influence, it's like sticky, it's gooey, it's not overly sweet, which is really nice. And I think that like sooty kind of quality just like kind of cuts that and just balances it out really well. But man, this is, Dirtiffs aren't, I'm just going to be honest here, not what I gravitate toward.
Yeah, we'll forgive you.
It's okay. But this is one of those whiskeys that I would go for. Like I would want to have this at the end of the day. And that's saying a lot for me. Can I read the tasting notes?
Yeah, you bet. Go ahead. I'm going through my flavor wheel in my head, just seeing what else is in here, because there's a lot. I really like. This is a great palate. It's just there's a lot going on. I know there's even more than what we've even called out so far. But yeah.
All right. Well, here we go. It says dulce de leche, sticky toffee, pudding in a rich sauce, and when diluted, donuts filled with strawberry sauce.
Yeah.
Donuts.
I liked all of that though.
I do too. I definitely get the strawberry sauce quality of it. It's there is like a saucy, syrupy like feel to this whiskey. And Berkshire whiskey, this is a 750, not a 700.
Yep.
And Summer asked if my shirt is Grinch colored. And yes, it is definitely Grinch colored, but it's also the color of Mike Wazowski. When I put it on, I should have thought of the Grinch. It's Christmas, but I thought of Mike.
I like Evan Belt quoting the strawberry jelly donut. Yeah, with the powdered sugar on it. Oh. So nice.
I like the ones that have the like sugar, like the crunchy sugar on the side. I feel like powdered sugar, anytime I have anything that has powdered sugar on, like the second it touches my tongue, it's like soaks up all the moisture in my mouth. And I'm just like,
I've got 2 drops of water on mine, 2 rounds of water. And I mean, it's still gorgeous. Still a great whiskey. I liked it neat. I like it with water. Find where you do and go from there. But wow. Mamuka 1977, that distiller usually tastes dry to me and pretty much always better with the water. Yeah, and there's a little bit of astringency to it now that you say that. Not bad. And I think it's kind of been there throughout, though. From neat to having water on it. And there are 244 bottles available as well. So, and like I say, U.S. exclusive cask, only cask, or U.S. is only ones getting these bottles.
We don't have to share.
That's right. And Taylor actually is correct. 13 years ex-bourbon hoggy and 2 years PX hoggy. Yep.
That is it.
First fill American oak PX hoggy, if you want to be specific. For the full point on the cask type, as far as the blind tasting challenge. Actually, I called it a blind bourbon challenge. It's not a blind bourbon challenge earlier. It's a blind SMWS whiskey. Scotch whiskey challenge. Why did I say blind bourbon challenge?
I don't know.
I just realized I said that earlier.
I didn't either, to be honest.
Yep.
Guess you have bourbon on your mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I think it's because Bart and I had done a big blind bourbon challenge years ago. So when I think big, epic blind challenge, it's just like bourbon just slips in.
Into your head. Yeah.
John Colling pointed out, yeah, this was a double gold medal winner at the San Francisco.
I was going to say, do you want to talk about the medals that this particular whiskey has racked up?
That's right. Absolutely. So
a mini little medal.
When the product page is up, you'll see there are 2 medals associated with it. One is the double gold from the World Spirits Competition 2022, And the second one, it received 94 points. It's a Chairman's Trophy finalist in the 2022 Ultimate Spirits Challenge.
I was telling Scott, it's like, when you go into buy a bottle of wine and they put the little stickers on it, that it's like 92 points or 89 points. I wish we kind of had that for these, like a little, 94 point sticker to put on it.
I was looking at the tasting notes that'll be on the product page for it, but it mentions strawberry liqueur all washed down with a red Berliner Weisse beer. So, they even noted, like you noted, you thought you had like Guinness, chocolate and Guinness on the nose. They used a Berliner Weisse beer that in the tasting panel's notes. So, yeah.
I like that they have a scent of cantaloupe melon with serrano ham and tawny port.
Mm-hmm.
That was your meats and charcuterie note.
Mm-hmm.
So we weren't far off.
Taylor actually says 244 bottles, minus the 2 for y'all, yours and mine, and maybe a few others behind the scenes. So 238 to 240 for the rest of us. We can't confirm nor deny that, Taylor, but we do this so you don't have to.
And yes, the email will go out tomorrow at 1:00 Eastern time. It'll have all the information in there, the link for you to click and sign up for the lottery. So all of that will be in there.
Mamuka 1977 asking, are you guys going to have SMWS glasses available? Not that I know of in the near future. Back early or spring, maybe early summer, we did a promotion. If you ordered 2 or 3 bottles, then you got a set of glasses included or for free with the order.
I think we're actually working on getting some sent over. I just don't think they are here just yet. So things move slowly across the waters, so to speak. But once we do, we'll be sure to let people know for sure.
Taylor actually is asking, but what if I want to do it for myself, Scott? And he's talking about testing the bottles. Well, I'm sorry, but we're professionals, and we assume the liability in this, Taylor. So, unfortunately, we have to do it.
And Warren asked, do you know what's up with the bottles that have been sold out that are reappearing on the website? Yes, I can let you know about that. So there were a couple, I think it's 42.56 sipping whiskey from a shell, I think was one of them. And they just happened to find a few. And so we put them back up on the website. So members would have a chance to pick those up.
Samuel Strasbaugh says, I just got my Sherry Bomb bundle delivered today, and I've got a 4-day weekend. Gift wrapping is going to be fun. Mm-hmm.
In the beginning,
I sold 1 or 2 of those today, people calling in.
Oh, nice.
And I'm surprised that we still have those. Those are both such good whiskeys. Those are from the Gathering, the 10-year and the 15-year-old that Neil Patrick Harris named. And it's such a great, and that bundle is even, the bundle gives you $50 off of what the price of those bottles were. Of course, we had 600 and some bottles of those because they were from Sherry Butts and they were U.S. exclusives. But yeah, I'm surprised those are still available because they were such great bottles.
Yeah, those were.
And there are still some available.
Yeah, I think I only have 1 left of those.
Yeah, that was the two middle fingers of scotch and the junior suite at the Cask Resort.
Yeah. I liked those. The junior sweet one was that's the one that I have left kind of. And there was a question from the Whiskey Franco. Is the mid-month on this Monday? Yes. Scott and I will be back on Monday to do the mid-month outro preview tasting on Monday night. It's nice to be doing these again. I feel like we haven't done a stream in quite some time. So we will definitely be doing that on Monday. And then those will come out on next Tuesday, or this coming Tuesday. Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Yeah. Well, yeah. This coming.
Yeah, it's weird. Some people say next Tuesday, but there's only one Tuesday. We've already passed Tuesday. So on Tuesday, I don't know.
I had a lot of questions today too on the phone, or actually this week, about if shipments would still arrive by Christmas time, which we can't guarantee, but most places 3 to 5 days shipping time. Even if you order, tomorrow, which is Thursday, they should ship Friday. You're still looking at a mid to late next week delivery before Christmas time. Not guaranteed. We can't guarantee it because of FedEx.
Right.
But our shipper gets those out and gets them going. And FedEx, of course, we can't guarantee that part. But
I love that JT said, my retirement bottle arrived. The 28-year delicate and elegant, intense and complex. Now I have 2 things to look forward to in 10 years. That's, I didn't know people did that. It was actually a couple months ago that I was talking to a member and they said, oh, I'm buying this bottle for my retirement. They were like, I have a safe and I'm going to put the whiskey in a safe and I'm not going to touch it until I retire. And I was like, that is so cool. Like, I love that idea.
Yeah.
It's like buy something, stash it away for many years and then get to look forward to opening that. I think that was really cool. JT's like, that was me. it may have been you. I think that's such a cool thing. I really like that idea. I wonder if I should do that. Get a bottle now and hide it somewhere in my house, like bury it in my bed.
Yeah.
Like unbury it in, I don't know, 100 years when I decide to retire.
I was going to do that last year when I retired from my job, but then I was like, and for years I'd talked about doing that, and I started in 1993 with my other job.
Holy cow.
And so I wanted to get like I wanted to buy a bottle that had been distilled in 1993 and then aged until 2021. But by the time that it eventually came around, just from the Scotch test dummies and SMWS bottlings, I've got so much whiskey. I was like, I really don't need to buy anything. Right. Especially in the price range that would have fallen.
Right. Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
I'm good.
You'd have to sell off a lot of your collection and then use that money to buy your very expensive old whiskey.
But briefly mentioned it this Friday. Tune in on YouTube. Will be the championship for our blind malt madness challenge, Scotch whiskey challenge, not bourbon. But we started with 8 YouTube channels. We did a bracket with them. Teams facing off against each other. They've advanced. We've got Dan from the Bourbon Junkies is going to face off against Jason, the Mash and Drum, this Friday night for the championship. The winner gets $1,000 SMWS gift card.
Wow.
So, yep.
I'm sure you picked some very difficult whiskeys for.
It's completely random.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pair this fantastic whiskey with a little bit of peppermint bark.
Oh.
See how it goes. It's like a white chocolate, milk chocolate combination peppermint bark.
If I had some chocolate, I would pair it with it, but I don't have any.
It's so good. Evan said he picked a bourbon. He let it slip earlier. So there's
It is all Scotch whiskey. I can tell you that. There's not any bourbon in there.
Or is there?
Or is there? But no, it has been. The Whiskey Franco says the blind challenge has been awesome. Looking forward to that. Talking about the championship. So yeah.
Blind challenges or blind tastings are always very humbling. It's like, oh yeah, of course I could pick out a cask or a Pedro Jimenez cask or a whiskey from Campbelltown or things that you think in your head. Yeah, of course I can just pick these things out. But then you're humbled very quickly.
Yeah, they're great. They're great learning tools. Blind tasting. So
I have a interesting story about a blind tasting that I did. I judged at Whiskeys of the World a couple years back, like before COVID. And the like intro night, we did like a blind tasting of, I think it was like 5 different whiskeys. And we do the blind tasting, and my favorite whiskey was the whiskey that I give my husband shit for all the time. It's his favorite whiskey, like hands down. He actually has the bottle tattooed on his ankle. Because it's Old Forester. He is like the biggest Old Forester fanboy. He loves it. And I'm always like, we have a billion bottles that like, you want old, and I'm not like, I love Old Forester, but I give him a hard time about it. And the whiskey that I picked, and I like looked back at my tasting notes and I was like, this is so fantastic. I was like, all these like just explosive, beautiful tasting notes. And it was Old Forester. So again, humbling, very humbling.
Dave Starr says, but we thought Bart would make it to the championship of the Malt Madness bracket. And he said, did you buy Bart a sympathy dram? No, I did not. And I was glad that he didn't make it. I was worried that Bart was going to make it to the championship and win, and then I'd be accused of feeding him the answers.
An inside job.
Which, believe me, he didn't get anything out. He didn't even try to get anything out of me, and I didn't tell him anything. But in round 2, so the point scale for the blind challenge is, if you have a whiskey, a single cask whiskey, like 1.253, the real deal, 8 years, and the cask type is a second fill ex-bourbon barrel. So if you want the full point, you have to say second fill ex-bourbon barrel.
You can't just say ex-bourbon barrel.
If you say ex-bourbon barrel, you get half a point.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you nail it on the head,
right.
Even if you said first fill ex-bourbon barrel, you still get half a point. But if you said second fill ex-bourbon barrel, you get the full point.
Okay.
Well, in round 2, the first sample that we had, it was Bart against Dan from the Bourbon Junkies. And Bart said, I think this is a second fill ex-bourbon hogshead. And he was right. That's exactly, he was just guessing. He was purely just guessing, trying for the full point. And I was like, on the first whiskey, and I'm like, people are going to accuse me. I'm like, Bart, you can't do that. Stop guessing
was he in the same room as you? Like, were you guys?
No, he was at his house. And
at his house? Okay.
Yeah.
Still, you could have been texting him the answers.
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, when he actually, and it surprised me that he won the first round. And I've told him this. We're very honest with each other. I said, I did not think you would win the first round. It surprised me that he did. And not that Bart's got a great palate, but a lot of times he'll outthink himself. Like he'll know initially he'll think, oh, that's a 10-year-old Isla. But then by the time he goes through and tastes it and thinks about it, he's like, it's a 21-year-old Speyside. And you're like, Bart, no. But no, he made it when he made the first round. I was kind of like, and then he failed lost on the second round. I was like, oh, that just eliminates all those.
So the whole time you were just like hoping for his demise.
Yeah. And inwardly I was thinking, Bart, you can't advance. Don't advance.
I need you to lose on purpose, please.
Well, and I'd even brought that up, in one of our meetings with Ben. I was like, hey, just in case this happens, if Bart does make it to the championship, then I may have to have you like send out the samples on this one, just as a precaution.
Right. Hilarious. Good for Bart. He probably was trying to lose on purpose, and then probably what happened.
All right. Well, I think we've covered this one. Any great comments? Thanks to everybody that tuned in. Again, 1 p.m. tomorrow should be the email time on this one. It goes out. It's a lottery bottle again. Register with your official SMWS email address. Otherwise, it registers you as you have to be a member for the lottery. If you use an email address other than your SMWS one, you get kicked kind of out of the process. So make sure you use your SMWS emails. And
I saw a comment really quick from Sean. Sean, stay tuned for a couple more days. That's all I can say to you. Just stay tuned.
4 or 5 days.
Yeah. There is a holiday miracle upon us Stay tuned.
Can't confirm nor deny.
No.
All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. And remember, as it says on the back of the whiskey bottle, SMWS bottle, SMWS whiskeys are not for swigging, glugging, or knocking back. Please drink responsibly. Cheers.